in front. Dunkirk passing the 16th pole. Dunkirk comes home a winner again.
At what point was that when you started thinking about the program towards the Derby?
You know, the thought's been in our mind a little bit even before his last race, and, you know, even a little bit before his maiden race, we felt like he was a pretty special colt based on the way he'd been training here. It was in the back of my mind as far back as November. This time last year, I didn't feel like we had too much. Sometimes you can be loaded in January and everybody says, oh, you know, wow, you got 4 or 5 for the Derby, and then, you know, by May you got none. This year, at least at this point, everything's gone perfectly with Dunkirk, and so you know, if we can continue that and he runs well in the Florida Derby, I would feel like we were coming up to it as good as we possibly could.
Is he in a one and you're in situation right now?
The way I'm approaching it right now, the Florida Derby is our only prep between now and the Kentucky Derby. If he gets enough graded earnings in the Florida Derby to make the Kentucky Derby, then that's what we're going to do. If he doesn't, then we might have to go on to Plan B, and that could be the Preakness or whatever.
The blue-blooded gray Dunkirk takes his debut with style.
You don't have to have all that 2-year-old form that you used to.
They're coming down to the wire. It's going to be very close, and it's going to be a filly in the Belmont.
We figure if we can win the Belmont with a filly, why couldn't we win a Kentucky Derby with a horse that didn't start at 2?
So you're happier right now than you were a year ago?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, we feel like we got a chance, and that's all you can hope for at this stage.
And we will see Dunkirk next week with our coverage of the Florida Derby. So he says you don't have to have the 2-year-old form and foundation like you used to. You buy that?
Yeah. No horse has won the Derby without running as a 2-year-old since Apollo in 1882. You know what that means to me? Nada. Zilch. Zero. Times have changed completely. Horses are trained differently now than they used to be. You agree?
I agree with that, but that's assuming everything goes right. He has very little foundation. If he has a hiccup between now and the Kentucky Derby and he misses any time training, he's affected more than a horse that had a better foundation. That's all I'm saying.